Welcome back. Each week on Ozarks News Journal, we put someone on the hot seat. In this segment, we take a topic of debate and let someone with in-depth knowledge of this subject offer his or her opinion, followed by a short question and answer session. This week, we're talking with Gabriel McLaughlin. Gabe is a reporter from The Standard and has some thoughts to share about a popular commentator recently in News for Controversy about an issue many thought was far removed from politics. Gabe, take it away.
Thanks. It's easy to understand why people may dislike Rush Limbaugh. His overconfidence comes across as arrogance. His personality is at times severely abrasive. The phrase baritone blowhard could be applied. While these qualities may make him a poor choice for a dinner guest, should they really disqualify him from owning a football team? By now we all know the story. David Checketts, owner of the St. Louis Blues, approached the conservative commentator about putting a bid on the St. Louis Rams. Being a Missouri native, a lifelong NFL fan, and of course a millionaire, Limbaugh agreed. However, when news of this collaboration reached the public, the chorus of boos was so strong you would have thought this partnership was a game-losing fumble. The news and sports media rushed to judgment, using quotes that were either fabricated or taken out of context. At least 7 players publicly commented that they would never play for a team owned by Limbaugh. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell spoke out against Limbaugh, stating that divisive comments are not what the NFL is about. But really, why is there so much opposition to a man seeking to own a sliver of an 0-6 team? Looking at the current crop of NFL owners, it's hard to find any difference between the right-wing talk show host and them. Overwhelmingly, NFL teams belong to wealthy old men, 70% of which donated to the McCain campaign in 2008. If anything, these individuals share the beliefs espoused by Limbaugh. Unlike Limbaugh, these owners are pretty quiet when it comes to expressing their worldview. And that may be the difference. For 15 hours a week, Limbaugh comments on a wide range of topics, from politics to football, all with the subtlety of an elephant traipsing around your living room. In fact, Limbaugh speaks his mind so frequently, the only exercise he gets is of his free speech. So this is where we're at. Limbaugh became a millionaire because of his divisive commentary. Then, when he attempts to part with his millions, we tell him he can't because of his divisive commentary. Should we really be limiting the abilities of those who speak their opinion? Well, in my opinion, I certainly hope not.
Aren't they allowed to exclude him from a private club if they want to?
Yeah, of course, and they did because they thought he was too outrageous, and yeah, they have their rights just as well as he does. It works both ways.
Is that the only reason why? Is it maybe because he's a Republican, or is that even a question?
No, he leans conservative, which is a part of the Republican, but he's not a part of the Republican Party at all. He just is part of their ideology.
Have they excluded others that want to buy in the past?
I'm sure they have, but not to my knowledge.
Now, is this a race issue? Because I've heard from rumors about race being an issue why they're not going to sell the Rams to him.
When I wrote the original column, I was kind of alarmed by the race issue, that the race component of this issue. And it turns out after my research that a lot of that was just fabricated, a lot of Wikipedia quotes just that the news media ran with. And in fact, CNN's Rick Sanchez had to even go back and apologize for using those quotes that were falsely attributed to him.
Does this put the NFL in a bad light at all?
No, I don't think so. I think people who like football are still going to watch football, and people who don't watch football will probably not watch football.
Here's a question. Why you said the news media was actually one that said that he had a race card. Why would they put it in the media if it wasn't true?
A lot of people are just not fans of Rush Limbaugh. He's a very powerful conservative voice, and people would like they would like to marginalize him, kind of take him out of the equation.
Okay, well that's about all the time we have today. Thank you, Gabe, for your voice. It's been heard. Coming up on Ozarks News Journal, we'll join a group of daring tornado chasers as they travel throughout the Midwest looking for dangerous funnel clouds.
And a recycling job for the ages. We'll check in on the project that has environmentalists and lots of sea life breathing a sigh for relief. Welcome back. In part 2 of our Weather in the Ozarks series, we take a look at a common but serious weather situation here in Missouri. Tornadoes. You've likely heard the sirens warning all of us to take cover and wait for instructions. But one group sees these warnings as a chance to gather valuable data and an experience. We teamed up with a group of tornado chasers who set out to discover all they can about this natural phenomenon. It was the chance of a lifetime for storm lovers. A Missouri State Field Studies course recently teamed up with veteran storm chasers on a trip none of them will soon forget.
It was a 9-day class in attempting to find the locations in the United States where we might have severe storms. We started off each day, just like the beginning of the class, we started 2 days in the classroom looking at maps and looking at data, trying to predict what would happen over the next week. We simply got in the vans and drove to where we thought there'd be severe storms.
Dr. Corcoran says this course was geared to teaching students how to forecast and predict exactly where severe storms are going to be prior to the day they hit. This and other technologies help the students determine where to travel to see severe weather.
We had 6 actual chase days, and out of those, 1 we had a down day because there was absolutely nothing going on. So 5 days of storms when you added it all up, and a lot of travel. We had 3,200 miles plus and 8 states.
With all the hard work being put in looking for severe weather, Keller says they found unique storm systems in Texas, Kansas, Nebraska, and even Colorado.
Finally, on the Friday, we were in Wyoming, of all places, and certainly the most thrilling part of that was getting on that storm that was producing a tornado. And getting to it, it was about a half-hour tornado. We got the last 10 minutes of it, so if we'd stopped for one more bathroom break, we probably would have missed it.
Keller says the tornado did not cause any damage because it was out in the field with nothing around. This made the class more thrilled to see a tornado because it was safe to watch.
Very exciting. We had Bill, who was running through the field, jumping around. It was his first tornado. I think probably Ted and Matt were the only ones that had seen a tornado, so the entire class was just, excited. It was about 3 miles away, so it was pretty safe.
Keller says this was not the only excitement the students had on the trip. The MSU chase team ran into the Weather Channel's Vortex 2 chase team at a hotel in Colorado. The Vortex 2 is a project funded by the government that sent out many researchers to travel around the United States to study tornadoes.
We were able to kind of follow them the next day, so the same tornado they saw, which was their only one of the season, we saw too, and that's significant. That's historical, really, because they'll go down in history as saying, okay, when we did that research in 2009, here's the only tornado we saw, and MSU is there.
There was 22 students that went on this chase, and there were no problems except for a little mud. Dr. Corcoran says it was the smoothest class he has ever taught in his life, and he hopes to teach something like this again. This field studies course was offered mainly to seniors in the geography department because it is required that all geography majors take a field studies course before they graduate. Because of the popularity of this course, there are talks of having it again next summer.
And finally today, there's recycling, and then there are projects like this. A fleet of old rotting warships in the San Francisco harbor will be removed, cleaned, and ultimately recycled as part of a government cleanup plan. Environmentalists have long criticized officials for not removing the ships, saying they are toxic and poison to the harbor. The cost of recycling the ships is about $2 million total. Those involved say it will ultimately be worth it. No word on what they'll do with the massive amount of scrap iron. That's all for this edition of Ozarks News Journal. Join us here next time for more in-depth news about Southwest Missouri. I'm Katie Easley.
And I'm Lucas Bond. We leave you today with some footage of fall in the Ozarks. Enjoy, and have a great day, Missouri.